Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great night. All right. So today, um, the reason I'm doing this reading, is because today I got the message that it's touchdown time or grounding time. So basically, it was like the first foothold that we could feel in our collective. That is 611 as I like the time, as that is grounded. That feels like it's the first step in this new world. So we've been in the shedding period this whole time, and I feel like what's come through this morning, especially very significantly, is that we're making that first touchdown into this new space. Um, so we're going to get a little bit more detail onto uh, whatever spirit wants to bring up in that regard, as far as the what we're touching down into, or um, yeah, I'm not going to go too far into what the message will be. I'm just going to let spirit talk. Um, and yeah, so basically that's where we're going with it. The message that started out the day was we're basically touching down into the new world that we've been crafting this whole time. The shedding period is finally come to its close, or is closing currently. Uh, and we have finally got our first foothold on in the new world, so we can start to see those new paths opening up. Um, see new paths opening up. What wanted to come through, uh, I'm not going to put this down because it was caught, but it's the Nine of Wands, Page of Swords underneath. What I'm getting with this is to really not like grasp on too tightly to any specific ideas, to because what will come to an understanding of what actually is meant for us to work on. We're going to start to have a flood of ideas, it feels like. Um, a flood of ideas, and right now, the first message coming through is to not um, hold on too tightly to ones that don't feel. Um, sorry, I'm looking at the egg turner. I have an incubator started with one lonely little duck egg, and I had a bunch of eggs in there, and the one was the only one that was actually fertile. I have three other ducks, so he or she won't be alone, but it'll be an awkward couple of months there with just the one duck. I'm trying to line up, not to go too far off into that, but I'm trying to line up some friends for this little one to integrate with. Um, all right. So we got 10 of Wands coming out, but it was like on halfway on its side, so it feels like this is, yeah, with this little chunk that came out with it. So it's halfway on its side, and that felt like, and it swung. And the way that it came through intuitively was that this is that like rounding out period where we're gonna start to see some serious closing of some serious chapters. Like uh, already, I can feel with that energy that came through. I want to get a hold on it because it feels very like there's a lot of momentum building up behind this, and I can already see why. With the stack coming through, there's a lot of like, I feel like anxious to get the words out, and I need to slow down because that's part of it. It's like feeling that anxiousness to start will start to get in the way um, if center isn't found. Okay, so the way that this Ten of Wands came through is it like swung, well, probably this way, but it swung. So I'm going to bring it in as a half turn. What that tells me is that the things that have been challenging, or the cycles that have been closing, are gonna start to come to a nice button up period. So we're gonna start to see uh, it feels very cohesive. Like we'll be able to see physically because there's something about the actually experiencing the closure of these cycles. With this Ten of Wands, it feels very significant that we experience the closure of those cycles, like a nice button up. I keep getting that analogy, like buttoning up something, like having it button up nice and tight and be done with. So it feels like that's the energy coming through. So we're gonna start to see a couple of things, um, really buttoning up and closing out in our world. That'll give us the um, like green flags on where to move next. For example, say, I don't know, the first example that comes to my mind is say a job um, experience starts to close out or button up in some sort of way, whether you completely move on from a job or go into a new position or whatever, it like buttons up nice and neatly so that you can transition into this new position. Sorry, my throat has been a little bit on the fritz. Uh, Probably doesn't help that I also am a avid cannabis smoker. So, yeah, take with it what you will. Um, I choose my own battles there. So what comes through is that the first thing that we're gonna start to with, especially with what came through this morning, having that touchdown period, that feeling of ground finally after a long period of ungroundedness. It's gonna come through with some sort of ferocity because I'm getting a lot of masculine energy, and when that comes through, it's like needing to like take the action. That's probably why the anxiousness of needing to get the word out is coming through, um, because it feels very like action oriented. I need to do something about this um, opportunity. Uh, that's going to be lighting up some sort of um, space within us in the coming days. So what's coming? This feels like it's something coming in fast because we got the Eight of Wands here, and this is something that actually came through. I don't know. I think it was like 2 days ago when I tried to do a message then, and I tried to upload it and it didn't work. So I stood back and I said I'm gonna take this as a sign to step back and kind of reevaluate how I want to take this channel. And I still feel like it's in the void right now, and not to go too far off into that, but that message came through and in that video where there's like a power move coming in that's gonna really need veracity, some force behind um, taking action on it. Like it feels like time crunch, but not in a bad way. Like this thing's gonna come up and it's gonna need an answer quite quickly. Is what it feels like, and it's not like it's gonna be something that is gonna go away fast. It's just gonna it. You're. I feel like it's gonna come up and it's gonna be something that's gonna also be where we feel like we want to give the answer right away. We got the Six of Wands underneath the deck, and when I lifted that up, it was the Hanged Man. further, further feeding that knowing of the fact that there's something that needs some like that needs a decision now. And I'm actually gonna go get some water because my throat is really bothering right now. So hold on. Much better. Okay. There we go. Yes, like I was saying, it feels like a power move. And I feel like the reason why I couldn't bring up the message before is because that it wasn't close enough and like time frame wise, and it feels like that also is important. Like this thing that's happening, this power move that's coming through is actually really close. It feels hot. Like this sun card feels very hot when I put my hand near it. So it feels like it's very close to me. Um, so what I'm getting is that something, an opportunity, something that really lights you up your soul center, like that soul star chakra. Something is coming in from that space where that's like universal consciousness rather than um, like third eye crown chakra, which is can be more connected to collective consciousness. This is more like a galactic beyond that, like a galactic consciousness. So something that's probably why it's coming in as a power move. Something very important to your mission in this lifetime is coming through, and mm, it's gonna like activate something that's gonna start speeding things up, which makes sense. We have the I don't know what date it is. I have to check. I should have done that actually. Um, the transition from the snake to the fire horse is happening soon. We're in February right now. It's the 7th um, of 2026, and we're transitioning into the fire horse. So that makes a lot of sense why not only timing but speed is coming up. Like when this action. Now I'm getting stuffy nose. I'm sorry. Now that this we come to this place where there's something coming in, and it's coming from source because it literally showing like a solar flare, almost like a sunbeam coming down and activating something within the soul star chakra, which is right above our main chakra system. If you don't know where it is, there's plenty of ways to look that up. Um, but it feels like something's activating within that space, and it's going to transmit a very important mission that's kind of been laying dormant. And it's a very important power move. It's going to be like a checkmate, something that's going to activate a whole new timeline. It feels like because when you checkmate, you're ending a game. So it's like you're ending one game, which makes sense with the Ten of Wands. You're ending when I said that before. You're ending one game to start a new game, and this new game is something that's very fast. Um, there's a lot of speed behind it. There's a lot of things happening. Um, which is probably why the Ten of Wands kind of came in and swooped in like that. It's actually saying um, to slow things down and take things at a pace because it feels like uh, that yeah, Nine of Wands again, that showed up in the pre-shuffle. Nine of Wands, it could if we don't take things at pace, like at universal pace rather than what our okay, I think I'm understanding now. So before when I was looking at the cards, it was talking very much about uh, like a lot of ideas coming in, and I had said then that not to take all of the ideas, and I don't that's not actually true. It's saying take each idea at pace. So it's not that all of these ideas aren't meant to be used or actually are being meant there are meant to be used. It's not to overthink the ideas, it's to jot them down, keep a log of them and then do them as time allows, like as the energy presents itself. So like a step-by-step plan. Have a step-by-step plan for it. So it's saying like have a 10-year plan, right? As an example, we have a 10-year plan and then we have all the steps on how to get there and then we take those steps and having the understanding that while we have a 10-year plan and there's this big goal over here at 10 years, we obviously are still here at year 1 or year 0, whatever you want to. Probably it feels more like year 0. It feels like the 0 point where we're hollowed out because of the shedding. We're hollowed out, so we're like a empty vessel, ready to be filled with something that is more genuine, because that was what we've really been called to dump these past bunch of years. But most importantly, this past year, this shedding was very important to literally dump any parts of us that were clinging, that were just like shadow parts or dust particles in our auric field. I'm getting this very intense imagery of actual dust shedding away from the body, like from the auric field. So, and we're expanding beyond that. We've come to this place where there's like a massive upgrade. I'm getting a strong message here with what's coming through. We got justice. We got the wheel, which further, with the Nine of Swords, which further fuels that imagery of like dust particles coming off of the auric field and rising above that space. And with the last cards, are the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Cups. And with that, it really feels like there's something that we're actually going to be called to walk away from that we might not want to walk away from. But it's important that we don't quite overthink the what it is, um, and focus more on the experience of it. I'm going to get more information on what that means, because that, uh, it feels very, it feels almost like scary, in that space. And I don't want to, I'm not saying it to scare anyone, but it's like we're gonna go deeper in that, to that message. So make sure this is the right side up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're gonna, I'm getting the message very strongly that there's something that we know we have to walk away from. It's like the last thing we know we really have to walk away from it, and it's something we really, really want to not want to walk away from. It's a comfort zone. It's something that's very comfortable and comforting. Okay. Okay. Knight of Cups under the deck on the clarification. Six of Wands again, which showed up on the underside when I first shuffled. So this is directly connected to the first message of there's the shedding of this thing that we're afraid to let go of, that we have a very clear understanding we have to let go of, is directly connected to the activation of that the soul star chakra, and understanding what the power move is. So we got the Wheel of Fortune again, the Magician, and the Seven of Wands. Yes, I literally am saying, like, it, not feeling ready, but you are. There's something that we are holding very tightly to, and it feels very much like it's something that might not even really be giving any real satisfaction anymore. There's no real connection to it, but it's just like habitual. Um, And if we want what we want, we have to remove the thing from the experience, or else it's going to keep on getting in the way of the focus. It's like it's clouding up the focus still. So spirit actually is coming in. I needed to pause because I had a realization of what that was personally. Um, which, you know, uh, yeah, well, I'll keep working with that. Um, but we're being called right now to really release the challenge with I mean, we saw that 10 of wands, the way it swooped out. Release challenge by acknowledgement. Yes, really. So the wheel coming in is really just seeing it for what it is, and really just acknowledging it. Like that's more than half of the battle, because it's starting to chip away at the parts that are still clinging. And what I'm seeing is that even coming to this message and hearing this message is is part of the activation. It's like the spirit is coming in and swooping in and releasing that burden, bringing bringing knowledge to it through this message is what I'm seeing. So I welcome you. This is gonna be one of the harder ones because uh, this feels very much like it's connected to addiction of all sorts, to whatever things in life, um, and that is one of those things that we tend to cling to. So it's like what I'm seeing here is that there's a knowing and a divine reordering, rebalancing of energy to help push through this last bit of cycle. I'm going to bring out some tea leaves and start getting some oracle cards. This feels like an understanding has been reached, and now we can use a little bit of spiritual tidying and maybe like a little bit of like a tea and a hug kind of energy is what I'm getting. Like maybe we just need to snuggle up, cozy up, and work through this energy with source. Work through it with source. Um, yes, Owl wanted to come through. Good advice from a wise person. That's me. um, so yeah, source is trying to just come in and really give us what we need to achieve the next goal. Or not the next goal, but the goal that we've been trying to get to more um, quickly. I'm going to get a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, lots of dogs. Okay. So someone is coming in to help. Someone is coming in to help. Let's see what they're helping about. The first message that came through, we got target, a goal-oriented person. So I feel like this is starting to describe who this friend is, because it looks like the tea leaves are bringing in another energy. They're trying to help. Some other energy is trying to come in, and this feels like an actual person, like a tangible person, not source, not spirit, not someone beyond the physical realm. Um, and they're going to help you navigate this challenge, this hurdle, more smoothly. It feels like it's something that's actually going to be done quite. Yeah. Okay. We're just going to keep going. A goal-oriented person. They're going to help you stay on target to get to this goal. Ring. A marriage will take place, either romance or business. Right. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Peacock. Beware of great pride. Wedge. Someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. We'll get more information about that, because it came out right above Nine of Swords, so that feels like it's connected to something that is part of the Ten of Swords original message, like this hurdle that's coming through, this other energy that wants to come through. There's two. Um, Problems to be resolved, Inkpot. So that feels like it's in connection with that person. Um, Kangaroo, unsettled times need to be planned ahead. Yep, like we said, we need to start planning. We need to have a plan, and then not. And that's why it feels like this knot, right? Like it says unsuccessful plans. So it's saying need to plan ahead. Okay. So the first four, target, ring, peacock, wedge, that's the first message with dog barking. Advice from a friend. And Belle wanted to stay behind announcement. So it's this friend that's coming through is trying to help keep us on target for this goal, to navigate us out of the trenches of whatever mind effery we've been in, with this ten of wands that's coming up previously, this eight of cups that we are currently moving away from or moved away from, but it feels like this is the final push to get over the hurdle of this, stepping away from this last piece that is still keeping us, um, emotionally trapped in deep waters that aren't even ours anymore. If that makes sense. So that person, this dog barking, this friend is going to come in and give it advice. Ace of Swords, we see that. Some sort of advice that's going to actually help um, free us from this entrapment of our own minds and our own heart, freeing that space, which it's been coming through a lot, like tilling the soil, having this clear soil so that we can have, the new seeds come, into soil that's gonna that actually will grow them. Um, but what I'm getting is this person is gonna be coming in to give advice on how to move us through that hurdle, because and it feels like this second person is part of that hurdle, because we have Inkpot, problem to be resolved, which is this. It's a weird. The message that's coming through is weird because we have two dogs, right? The dog barking, advice from a friend, and dog protection from a powerful friend. And this one feels like the dog barking. Stay with me here. The first dog is the friend that's going to come in and give advice to get you over the hurdle of the second dog, which is the two dogs are representative of two separate energies in our lives that are, one's helping and one's a challenger. So, and both of these dogs are, feel like actual people, like people that we interact with, or whether it be our friends, our family, our coworkers. One of them is helping us. You'll know which one's which, because you've been experiencing these energies. This is not new, energy. These people, these players in your life have been part of it. That's why Ten of Wands here it's showing up. Um, but one of them's helping to navigate out of the Nine of Swords, Eight of Cups energy, that overthinking, sticking to a comfort zone area, Eight of Cups, really needing to walk away from things that are just they're not doing anything. They might have been fun at one point. They might have been, giving us something at one point, but they're not giving anything. And if they're not giving anything, they're taking. So it's time to let that stuff go. It's time to loosen the knots and release the connection. Do a cord cutting ceremony on some stuff. Really write them down and burn them, even. Like have some sort of releasing ritual to let go of these things. Um, the second, this first person is helping us to overcome this major hurdle of the second person, because there's a problem with that person. This person might actually be related to the first person because we have this kangaroo, and it's showing a mother and a joey kangaroo on it, and the knot, which is feels like there's a close tie or a close, yeah, there's a close connection between the two people, which seems really sticky, which probably is why there's a lot of problem around this. There's like it's a hurdle. It's a major problem in the way. Beware of great pride. It's saying, huh, okay, so I'm seeing that this person is gonna help show us how to humbly get past this. Maybe I know that I'm very much like this, so I get this. Um, Sometimes when I know I've won, I like to stick it in a little more, and that's something that I'm working on. Yeah. So let's keep going with this. Wheel of Fortune, the Magician. I want to step away from the negative aspects and see what we're bring some of the things that we're bringing in, because there's a lot of success on the horizon as well. But it has needing to know that there's something that needs to be resolved is important, because it seems like it's a hairy situation, something that could it's like if you don't loosen the knot, you're gonna get tangled in it even harder, right? Like you need to have a plan to move ahead, and this friend is gonna be actually giving you advice on how to do so, in a very targeted and goal-oriented way that'll keep things on track to keep things moving in a positive direction for both of you. So this feels like it's probably a love thing or a romantic connection. It could be a friend, a very close friend, but it feels more with this ring, a marriage will take place, either romance or business. It feels like it's deeper than just a friendship. Could be a romance, or it could be like a business partner, somebody who's going to be very closely intertwined with you. They're trying to, if it's a business partner, they're trying to help you not like go toward somebody who is trying to get too in bed with this whole thing. Like it feels like this person might be too invested in a not so good way. Like sometimes when people want to be too in the mix and stuff, that could be a red flag as well. So it feels like that. Maybe they like to meddle in things. Ace of Swords again, um, Nine of Pentacles, King of Wands. Yeah, I'm gonna take another one, and the Empress, King of Swords underneath. He showed up for my own personal today, and that really was what bring me what bring me to do this message today. Was about that original message. It was about touching down and having our foothold start, like um, being able to get over this seemingly small hurdle. Like she can just walk right over it, so it's not hard. It won't be hard for us to overcome this challenge. It feels like it will be easy to overcome the challenge that's being presented in front of us. This could also be like, since it's coming up as Eight of Cups, an emotional addiction. Um, for example, some of us are addicted to being angry. Some of us are addicted to being sad or whatever. Like that's a weird thing that some people don't even realize actually happens. We Some people, they actually will feed that. And when I say addicted, if you're like, say I'm angry and I'm addicted to that feeling of anger, I will do things that feed it, like watching things that are aggressive, news things that are really challenging to watch, or just scared, like really aggressive movies, aggressive, I don't know, just like stuff like that, filling my auric field with just more angry perspectives, so that it just keeps that thing alive. That's what it feels like, and it's coming through here. Um, so not when I say addiction, it's not necessarily like the ones we think of right away. This one feels more like a comfort zone of emotion, or lack of control of emotion with this Justice card. That could be part of it. Um, So getting like a real good handle on that, which makes sense as well. We got, all right, let's go back to the message here. Ace of Swords again. So this is tying this in. This is furthering the message of what we're walking away from, because we have the Ace of Swords with the Eight of Cups. So it's like enlightenment on how to move away from this desire to, or yeah, um, on, on this desire to stay in a comfort zone. Nine of Swords here. So it's like moving away from that, learning, getting a plan together so that we can have success to loosen the grip of this knot that's been created. We got the Ace of Swords literally coming in to say, I am here to cut that knot, right? We got the cut, the cut. We have all the different I was going to say implementation because I wrote that on this card here. So we have the ways we're about to hear the way to implement this this cut of the cord. So we're finding out a way to find success here. Train focus, have foresight, work hard, work smarter, not harder. So we're being called to take action. That was the part of the original message. There's something that's got like really needs our 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 attention and action. And it's coming to us with the Empress here. And it's really going to set off like a fast movement in like how it feels like this is actually, now that I'm looking at it again, like this actually does feel more so like it's a business thing as it's transpiring. It still could be a romantic thing, but with the Nine of Pentacles coming in and the King of Wands now, it feels like it could very well be a business thing. Maybe they're both tied together as well. Um, like this person could be helping you in a way that actually frees you up. Because I mean that makes sense. Once you start to like free up space in one area, it actually starts to free up space in all the other areas and starts to do magical things in your life. Like so that makes sense. But cutting this cord, this knot that's been formed between um, this other energy that's very closely connected to the first energy that wants to come in and help, um, is really going to help us cut that cord and really train our focus on what we're working on, and building, and how we can keep the momentum going to keep ourselves in the plus. Right now it feels like we're in the negative, or we're in the neutral area with justice. We're just like kind of hanging in the balance again with that Nine of Swords. It's like Nine of Wands, sorry. It's like we're just kind of in the liminal space, that like in between area of waiting. Um, but this information that's like hot off the press is what I'm getting. It's coming to us fast. We got like Ace of Swords, Ace of Swords. Someone's the Sun, the Emperor, the Eight of Wands. Like somebody's about to come in and give you something. Could even be this message that's going to spark that. If it's not a physical being in your actual world, it could be a physical being through your screen, like myself. But it feels like this information is going to rocket launch, and we're going to be able to start to focus our attention on, and our yeah, trade our focus on our desires, and make it so that we can move towards them more simply, if that makes sense. Like make it more easy to obtain the things that we want in our reality, with this Empress here. So she's able to receive what she wants and all the things that she wants through her, um, and the King of Wands, showing up together is why I'm saying this, is that through the bold, the action taken, and also the ability to have that open field, and what I'm getting, why I feel like I'm hesitating is because I'm getting drawn to the her crown, which um, one of my favorite readers highlighted that that crown represents the 12 zodiacs, which means she has the knowledge of all of the zodiacs signs in her crown chakra. Like she has the understanding of how to move through all those, and that feels very significant. Because it's like having all of those, having the wisdom of all those King of Swords, having the wisdom and being able to implement the positive attributes of all of the signs, having their knowledge is a good way to progress forward. Like it keeps us in that neutral, balanced space, so we can keep making action and right. Like sorry, I was getting an intuitive message. Taking action and then resting, taking action, resting. Like like knowing the pace, as I said before, like having the pace so that we don't get ahead of that pace. There's something very important about keeping up with the pace of um, our lives and how it shows up in front of us. But someone is coming in to give a message on how to cut ties with that last thing that's holding on. So what I'm going to do is that feels like a very complete message. I'm going to get some oracle now. One rose oracle and one crystal to help us really um, solidify this, because it feels like the energy is, it needs some grounding, some base to come back to. We got the Liberator and the Flirt underneath in our roses. And we've got You Live in Abundance, Imperial Topaz, for our crystal. Which is amazing because, yes, like that, and underneath it says full of riches, citrine. As I was saying, like the whole message is screaming that there's I'm going to show these as well, that there's something coming in, really, not something, some things coming in that we've been feeling, we've had an intuitive knowing about, we've been cultivating. That's how we know about it. We've been actively trying to manifest them. The shedding has been going down in the year of the snake, this past 2025. And now we've come to this 0 point where we've shed and now we are emptied. So now we are coming to the foothold. We've touched down. Now we can start to walk and see the signs, see the breadcrumbs that spirit is laid out for us. And it's saying that the first breadcrumb is me. So hi. I'm letting you know that someone in your life is going to give you advice. It does feel like it actually is somebody in your actual life. It's not me that's giving you the advice right now. Someone in your life is going to give you the advice on how to maneuver your way out of this sticky situation with someone that is close to both of you. That is very it's become a energetic knot that needs to be cleansed from the energy, because it's going to keep causing problems and spilling energy in places it doesn't need to, and causing things to get too closely knit in ways that are uncomfortable, that are not conducive to the story of what you're trying to do here. All right, so I'm going to read the oracles. I'm going to read Citrine first. Citrine has no patience for navel gazing and narcissism. There's a whole world out there, Citrine admonishes, guiding your attention to the abundance around you. Tune outward, Citrine reminds, watching as you haltingly move your gaze from your own troubles to the tiny leaves unfurling on the oak tree's branches. Citrine knows it can be tough to turn your ear to the whisper of crow wings, cutting the afternoon stillness when you're used to listening to your own internal monologues and self-deprecating harangues. Yeah, but Citrine is persistent in pushing you beyond yourself, nodding sagely as you slowly slip out of self-absorption and into the stillness of contentment. The world is full of riches, Citrine affirms, and in that abundance you're full of joy. Okay, calling us out here right now. Something I didn't want to see here. A little bit of this Nine of Swords, being a little bit self-absorbed in the things that we've been. I mean that's literally what the Nine of Swords means. It's thinking about something and just thinking about it over and over again, and whatever that is, those things could be multiple things. Eight of Cups. Walk away from all of them. They're not helping, and they're really not going to help moving forward. If we try to hold on to them at this point, it's going to tie the knot in a way that's going to make it more permanent and going to actually backslide us in a way that's not. We've already moved past, like, it doesn't feel like this is a warning kind of thing. We've already moved past a space that this is even capable of not being felt or seen by our higher selves. Like, I feel like the only thing is that you need this person to come in and give this information, because it's like Source's external way of giving you a very hard truth. Ace of Swords, Ace of Swords. It's a very hard truth on how to get out of this self-deprecating energy, to help lift things up and really start to speed things up. Citrine has no patience, it says. So it's trying to speed things up. It wants to speed things up, and you want things to speed up. That's literally what all this energy is showing me, is that it's part of what we want to come in. We want things to speed up, so that's why we're getting the information on how to make it happen. Imperial Topaz. When we are satiated, when we feel that we have enough, full spirit, full heart, we can relax and offer abundance to those around us. This is Imperial Topaz's gift, the ability to savor life and take nourishment from its beauty. Topaz helps us find sensitivity within ourselves so we can notice with all our senses and appreciate with our whole being. The minute workings the minute workings of the world. Let me read that again. Topaz helps us find sensitivity within ourselves so we can notice with all our senses and appreciate with our whole being the minute workings of the world. From this place of abundance, we become a cornucopia of full and overflowing with energy, which can be shared as kindness or courage or wisdom with those around us. There is wonder everywhere, Imperial Topaz whispers. It's up to you to take it in and assimilate it in your heart. So it's that makes sense. It's the reason why we need this to happen, why this needs to this stuff needs to be released from our energy field and our psyches, is because we need to start sharing something that's inside of us with others. With this, you live in abundance. It's to receive more abundance, you need to share your abundance, and that doesn't mean money, or specifically that means time, it means love, it means wisdom, courage. When you're sharing with someone your kindness, your whatever, any tangible or intangible thing, out of the pure kindness and space of the heart, you're giving. So it's that, like, balance space. It's allowing the flow to open up, and that was previously shut down due to these things in the way: the Nine of Swords, Eight of Cups, feelings, ruminating, self-sabotaging, having old stories steal from us, having old people steal from us our energy, our time, all that stuff. So we're moving from that now. And it's saying that it's a time of abundance. So there will be plenty. You'll have what you need. And we see that here, nine of pentacles. You're gonna have enough to give out as well. And it's asking us to prepare for the giving out. And it looks like we're gonna be giving out some sort of knowledge. And we need to have a clear emotional space to be able to give out clear message. That feels like it's also connected to this knot. Like, since everything is interconnected, it gets kind of hairy. So if I loosen the knot of control to a connection that is outside of myself, I actually can start to loosen knots that I've created within myself as well, that are a mirror effect of what that person represents outside of me. Because everybody is a mirror effect of what shadow aspect is trying to represent itself outside of me, right? So when we have challenges or whatever with people, it's a shadow aspect of ourselves trying to manifest in the physical so we can work through it. And right now it's saying the push through to cut the tie with that is going to free up the space so that we can start to um, give and receive and have even more abundance that we want, like the stuff we want to come in. And it opens up that flow so that things can really start to, spill over. And then once we have that clear space, we have a space to take action on. We're going to get a clear message on what that action is, so that we can start to receive at, like, it feels like a breakneck speed, because I'm looking at this waterfall. When you're at the bottom of waterfall, you have this waterfall crashing down your head. That's breakneck. Like, that's the kind of speed that I'm getting with what's coming in. Once we get over the hurdle, clear the space, and start on the um, taking the actions that source is giving us from that point, um, to move forward with. And it feels like the flower oracles are going to give us a little bit of information on what that is too. So underneath we got the flirt, um, wild rose, opening your heart to a more playful and lighter outlook on what is before you will allow you the space, we talked about that already, to see beyond any negativity clouding your judgment. Go through all options, even those that may seem rather remote, before making your decision. We talked about that as well. Having discernment about the decision, because we're going to get a lot of coming in. It is too easy to let something that seems good at the time get away from you, and for this to become your long-term and perhaps not substantial enough reality. The flirt may know how to connect with others through a veil of lightness, but be aware of what is on offer in exchange for the attention. Why don't you, and it says, why don't you play a little, have fun a little, and experiment a little more? So that really speaks again to be discerning with the decisions and company we keep, and really allowing our energy to go to the right sorts of things, so that when we do get tied into a knot with something, because that's just how energy works, we're getting tied into knots that we want to be connected to, rather than stuff that's going to um, trap us and take energy from us, so that we can't give to things that are beneficial and growing more stuff. Because right now we're in a time period where source is saying we have opportunity to bring in a lot of abundance, like full of riches. You live in abundance. I mean, the message is coming in through hot and clear that there's an opportunity coming in that is a power move that's going to ricochet us into an extremely abundant time in our lives. And it's my left ear is itching. Excuse me. It's really about flirting with the right kind of ideas, magician, knowing when to use the tools to create the thing rather than it just be in the ethers, but knowing where those things come from. If it comes from a source that is um, of higher space, like from good friends or yourself or you know, when you're meditating in a space that's calm and quiet, then yes. If it's coming from places of fear or other people that are not in a place that you want to be in, it feels like that's also very important. All right, hold on. Someone is coming. My fiance wanted to give me a chocolate, caramel chocolate. All right, so the last card, the Oracle card, is the Liberator. Sometimes you need to act and even make decisions completely alone. And though this takes courage, it does ensure that what you are creating for the future is completely in line with your values. There is a new hope, breakthrough, or opportunity coming, but along the way there is also the chance of a false hope to be astute in your choosing. I mean, I can't even get any more specific and on point than that. We literally were talking about that this whole time. Um, there is an opportunity coming in. There's two people showing up, two dogs here, and it's saying make the right choice, but I feel like that's like a mute point you're going to, because one of them is um, a friend and one feels very much not. So, um, okay, so we'll get back here. The Liberator has a strong, optimistic nature that ensures they can carry the torch of justice. That's funny. Torch of justice and freedom forth for others to be rallied by. So again, that message is coming through strong. We're here to start to give out a message to others, live in abundance, start to give it out to others. So we're passing on the torch of freedom for others and how they can follow behind. And we see that there. They do not give up and will always find a way to make inroads to the outcomes that are true, just, and needed. What does freedom mean for you? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. I feel like that's a great card to stop on. Um, because I mean that literally summed up everything that I said in the whole thing. Um, but it feels like we are standing tall in this space that we've created. That's why it's not like a warning, because we already feel like we know who is who and what to say no to and what to walk away from. Like we already have that knowing. But there is one last piece of advice coming in, that's really gonna be like a aha moment. It feels like that tower sort of energy, like something that just it wasn't able to come through because it wasn't the right timing, and everything happens in steps. So we've touched down 7-Eleven. As I look back at the time, I saw 6-11 on the clock before. It's very significant. We've got something incoming, very powerful message that's going to help us to wake up even further from like even to a higher level. So I wish you all the best in that, because of course that's um, both exciting and you know it affects us all in different ways. So take it slowly. This information, this download that's coming in from source through this other being, the maze, will become a lot clearer. The way is becoming lighter and more um, refreshing to walk through. The hurdles are becoming even they're dissipating. Whatever hurdles were in the way, even like it feels like they're gonna fall off like a hot potato. Um, and this other offer, this other being, this other offer that's trying to come in, it doesn't feel like it's going to even really tempt us in any way, but with the beware of great pride, it feels like a be humble about the rejection of that thing. Because the untying of that could be sticky because of how close that other energy still feels to the whole situation. So it feels like to give it to them gently. Okay? So I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next one.